welcome to the Wild Protea. Obviously, I've been away for a while, and you know, to be honest, it's the lockdown and other things have taken a toll on me, sort of mentally, and I wasn't in a space to sit here in front of a camera and do what I do and try and get this thing going. I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and so I decided to take a little break, a little hiatus. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't, make it known. I then started the Wild Protea fan page on Facebook. Go check it out, guys. Go give it a like. Share the page with people, please. That's the only way I can get this. We can get this thing going. And I want to send just a quick little shout out to just a couple of friends that have messaged me during lockdown or whatever, to tell me to keep going, and they like what I'm doing. And so guys, just shout out to those guys. It means a lot. It means a lot more than you think. And guys, dealing with mental health and depression and anxiety and those sorts of things is no joke. I've personally never really suffered from any of those things before, but obviously the lockdown has taken its toll on everybody, and I think it's important that we talk about mental health openly, because there's a lot of people that suffer, and it's a personal struggle now with me daily, but now it's become a lot easier that once I identified what was happening to me, so I'm back now, and hopefully every week we're going to be here talking sports. Hopefully every week we'll be going live again soon, and hopefully having some more guests on as well. There are plans in the future for studios and all that sort of thing, but for now, let's get this going again. So obviously, guys, like this video, share it, please. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe as well. I'll be very, very grateful for that. So now straight into what we're here for, the sports. So Super Rugby's back, guys. For the South Africans at least, they had their Super Rugby Aretoa, and they had the Super Rugby AU, and I think it was Matt Moore saying that it was good for the Aussies because they learned how to win again. I was like, okay, cool, but only Australian sides could win that competition. And what about the other 4 sides that learned to lose again? So it was tough for them, wasn't it? But I get what he was trying to say. Seeing an Australian side win a Super Rugby competition, I don't think any of these rugby competitions can be called Super Rugby competitions, just because there's only one nation in there, so it's not really a Super Rugby, is it? But anyway, it's back, and it starts tonight at 7 o'clock with the Lions, with the Sharks taking on the Lions. Now, looking at those 2 starting lineups, the Sharks have gone with Oxenche, Dylan Richardson, Thomas du Toit, Ruben van Heerden, Hiron Andrews, James Venter, Pepsi Buthelezi, Sikambuzo and Noche, Senele Nohamba, Cohen Bosch, Werner Kok, Marius Lowe, Lucanio JP Peterson, and Mani Lebok. Now, on paper, that looks like a very strong side, especially when you consider, a couple of World Cup Springboks in there. I like Werner Kok. I don't like him at 11 so much as he would be at 12, but okay, they got to make adjustments because they have got a few injuries, especially in the back 3, 11, 14, and 15. They've got a lot of injuries there. So I think that's why he's filling in at that position. But overall, I think that's a good side. Cohen Bosch, obviously, his opponent Alton Yankees is the shoe-in for the Springbok number 10 position at the moment. But Cohen will want to put his hand up. There are probably 1 or 2 guys ahead of him at this minute, but I think he'll come out and try and prove something here tonight. And then you've got the experience of Lucanio obviously World Cup winning, and the skipper there. Also JP Peterson, great experience, also a World Cup winner. So Mani Lebok this season will have something to prove. So I think that's a very good side. They got humbled a little bit by the Bulls a couple of weeks ago in that Superfan Saturday clash thing. But I still think this is a very strong Sharks team, and I still think they'll be up there challenging for honours at the end of Super Rugby. Then just looking at the Lions side, they've got Steve Sitole, Jaco Vasagi, Kalu Saadi. Try to say those two names 3 times faster. I think you'll get stuck. Willem Alberts, Marvin Ori, Jaco Creel, Vince Techuka, Len Massain, Dylan Smith, Elton Yankees, Rabs Maxwande, then Dan Creel, Burger Odendaal, Jamba Olengo, and Ewe Yun. Now, a lot of these guys are from other franchises, so it's a bit of a... The Lions have got a bit of a ragtag feel to them this season, where they've kind of just been thrown together, because I think I was speaking on a video earlier in the year saying that they've lost, I think it was up to 23 players with injuries and outgoings. So, you know, they played well in patches against the Stormers, but the Stormers also played well in patches. But I think that was just the sort of excuse me, pre-season sort of feeling out process. I expect the Stormers to play a lot better. I must admit, I don't expect a lot from the Lions this sort of Super Rugby campaign, their season, just because of the things that I've said. They've lost a lot of experience, and if you look at their bench, you can see that there's not much experience on the bench either. So they will be bolstered by the likes of Jaco Creel and you know, Elton Yankees are going to have to be big for them. Guys like Marvin Ori are going to have to step up. Willem Alberts as well. Willem Alberts is going to have to step up for them as well. And then obviously the young guns coming through are going to have to step up as well. You know, the Lions for the longest time were rebuilding. They don't want to go through that similar rebuilding phase where they're building, and then eventually, you know, they did get to a point where they were challenging for titles, but never quite got over the line. So hopefully that rebuilding phase isn't as big as what it was before. So yeah, my prediction in this one, I'm gonna go Sharks by 10. I just think after being humbled by the Bulls, they're gonna come out firing and look to put the Lions away. I think that this is they'll want to put that first step forward in winning a trophy again. And then other games this weekend to look forward to: the Cheetahs, they're gonna take on the Pumas tomorrow, and then the Bulls versus the Griquas tomorrow as well. Yeah, quite an interesting Super Rugby campaign, where the points are going to be carried over to Super Rugby, to the Currie Cup as well. So it's going to be like a kind of like a 14-week long tournament, but there will be a winner of Super Rugby and there will be a winner of the Currie Cup. So 2 winners potentially, but I think look out for some early upsets. I think some of the minnow sides will be wanting to prove that they maybe belong in Super Rugby, in maybe a broader competition. And also, with the lockdown and 6 months off rugby, everyone's going to be, you know, relatively fresh and stuff like that. So I think the minnow sides will cause some upsets in the earlier rounds. But I think as the season progresses, you'll see the guys with more Springboks and with more experience and with greater squad depth. I think those guys will come through. Overall, it's a tough one. I actually wrote an article on Fair Digest about it. You guys can go check it out, fairdigest.com. Go look at my article on that. I think I called the Sharks, the Bulls, and the Stormers to be there and thereabouts. But overall, I think it might be the Stormers here. I just think having Siya Kolisi in their ranks and not losing so many of their Springboks out of their team, I think they have a very good squad. Having said that, the Bulls squad, the additions that they've made, so much experience. They've all got, you know, the likes of Dwayne Vermeulen, Geo Aplon, Mornay Steyn. So they've got heaps of experience there at the Bulls. Jake White is obviously at the helm now as well. So he's pretty good if you ask me. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think. So if I had to predict a winner, I'm a Cape Town boykie, so I'm going to go for the Stormers. But don't look further. I think don't look further than the Stormers, Bulls, and who did I say? The Sharks, eh? Yeah. So don't look further than those three. I don't think anyone else can really challenge. Like I said, I think the smaller sides, I don't want to call them minnows, but the smaller sides, like the Pumas and the Griquas, and to some extent the Cheetahs, although they won the Currie Cup last season, I believe. So look for those sides to cause some upsets, but I think the three big names will come through tops. The Lions, I don't expect much from the Lions, but hey, they could surprise you. You know, Alton Yankees captain now, so great experience there. But I just think they don't have enough depth, and there will be injuries, because you can guarantee that with 6 months of rugby, you know, there are already injuries throughout the squads. So yeah, have to wait and see on that one. But for me, Stormers look a strong side, and being a Cape Town boy, I'm going to go with my Cape Town franchise on that one. And then last thing on rugby, the Chasing the Sun documentary, guys. If you haven't seen it, you know, go check it out on Catch Up, or you know, get it from a mate or something like that, because it is absolutely brilliant. It gives a great insight to the behind the scenes workings of the Springboks, and when Rassie came in. You know, Rassie came in with a clear plan, and he actually wasn't planning on coming back to South Africa. You know, like he's saying, he's planning to get his kids citizenship in Ireland. You know, he was obviously coach of Munster. So, but he came, like I said, he came in with a clear plan, and number one and number two on his list of plans was a transformation, and then winning rugby games again, getting us to be a winning side. And I think, you know, even though the first year, I don't think they won that much, but he said they targeted key games, and one of the key games was beating New Zealand in New Zealand, and just getting that belief back. I also thought the key appointment of Siya Kolisi as captain was a masterstroke for me, because being a Stormers and Western Province fan, I have seen Siya develop from this young stud, you know, flanker who was all over the field to this leader of men on the field as well. And you can just see the leadership. I remember a game where, I think it was a playoff game. I think the last time the Stormers were in the playoffs, I think we played the Sharks or someone here at home. And Siya got substituted in the last sort of 10 minutes of the game, and it was a tight game. And there was a decision to be made about when we had scored points, and then there was a kickoff, and then the Stormers immediately punted the field downfield, and you know, long story short, the Sharks had to go 80 meters to score a try, but they did it. But that's just because the ball was given away. And I just think if Siya had been on the field, I don't think he would have allowed that to happen. I think he would have said, we take this in, we hold the ball in our half for 5 minutes if we have to. You know, we put our lives on the line for this team, and we make it through. So we win, and we make it through to the next round. Winning is winning, no matter how many points you win by. 1 point or 10 points, doesn't matter if you win. And I just think that he wouldn't have let that happen on the field. I think it was interesting as well that he leaned a lot on his senior players. And I think, you know, a lot of us look at captains and think that they should know everything and be the only voice on the field. And I like the fact that he said that it was in the beginning, it was more of a collective effort, you know, leaning on your senior players. And I think a lot of captains don't do that. And I think a lot of captains should do that. You know, when you've got a lot of senior players in your team, whether it be cricket, rugby, soccer, whatever sport you're playing, lean on your senior players, guys. They play an important role. And then the second episode of Chasing the Sun will be on Sunday at 6 p.m. It's on DSTV. I think it's the rugby channel. I think it's 211 if I'm not mistaken. They are all on catch up, so yeah, I know I'm punting DSTV a lot here, but yeah, it's just one of those things where they are available. And then last few things here, guys, just some cricket news. Some franchise cricket will begin on the 2nd of November. That will be the Sunfall series will start on the 2nd of November. They have made dates also for the Momentum One Day Cup and a T20 Cup as well. So look out for that. Obviously that'll be televised. Hopefully, if we can get like enough noise about it, hopefully we can get some 4-day cricket on the screens as well. If not, I will see if they have any Crick Vision links that we can maybe check some cricket out, the 4-day stuff as well, and have a look at that. Obviously, big news in cricket. Cricket's not doing as well as it should. Hopefully, if we can get the games on TV, you can actually see how good these lads are and see that there is a lot of talent in South Africa. And then also just no news on club cricket yet. Now you may ask why I mentioned that. It's because I believe that club cricket has a huge role to play in South African cricket. I think it's a very underutilized talent scouting pool that we can use. A lot of youngsters come into club cricket and think they know everything. My bad. And they don't, and they get found out, and then they stop playing. And I think that's a bad thing. And I think that we should encourage guys to play club cricket a lot more. And I think our cricket can only grow from strength to strength if they do. And then last but not least, just some football news for you guys. Bafana, they obviously drew 1-1 with Namibia. I think it was last night. I did only catch the second half. I was putting my daughter to sleep, so forgive me for this one. But yeah, I was putting my daughter to sleep during the first half, and I missed the first half. But from what I watched, no one was really willing to take the game by the scruff of the neck, have a shot, have a long-range effort. I can't remember if there were too many shots on goal, even in the time that I watched. There were some good patches of play, but also some really poor patches of play, passages of play, should I say. And, obviously it's a young team. They've just come together. There was the lockdown and stuff like that. So, the players were going to be a bit... I don't say rusty because there was the Absa Premiership now not too long ago. So, yeah, just wasn't a very cohesive unit. I think they still have to come together as a unit still. One defensive lapse cost us, but that will happen when you don't score goals. When you don't put Namibia away in the first half or early in the second half, that is bound to happen. So, it's a learning experience for a lot of these young players. And I think that they will come through it. And I think that, the performance against, I think we're playing Zambia on Sunday at 2:30. That will be one to look out for as well. I think we'll see a much improved performance. And I think we'll see, hopefully, guys a bit more clinical in front of goal. And then last but not least, Bongani Zungu. Congratulations, my man, for signing for Rangers and Stevie G. Obviously, one of his idols growing up, signed for Rangers on loan on deadline day with an option to buy as well after the loan spell. So congrats to Bongani, one of the best midfielders that we've probably produced in a very long time in South Africa. Bar probably Percy Tao's not really a midfielder. So so just shout out to that. And then as good as Bongani is, some guy on Twitter argued that he's the best we've ever produced. And that his career was comparable to Benny McCarthy. Some guy also told him to delete his Twitter account after that because, Benny McCarthy is arguably our best player we've ever produced in South Africa. I believe he is. Obviously, Mourinho speaks very glowingly about him. He's won UEFA Champions League medals. So, for me, he's the best we've ever produced. I don't know, guys. Who do you think is the best player South Africa's ever produced? Obviously, I'm very young. Well, I'm not that young anymore, but from my perspective, it's through young eyes that I see that Benny McCarthy's, in my time, been the best player we've ever produced. But if there's someone else that you've seen, it's better, then give me a shout in the comments, and we can get chatting about it. Also, guys, let me know what you think of the rest of what I've said today. Who do you think is going to win Super Rugby and stuff like that? The franchise cricket stuff. What do you think about all of that? Chasing the sun. If you have any comments about that, guys, please let me know. We can get chatting on Facebook. We're going to be there for now. until we can cross over to YouTube as well. This video will be up on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch there or on the Wild Protea fan page, either or is great. But yeah, guys, get those comments in. I'd love to hear from you. Like and share this as many times as you can, so we can get the views up and get the subscriptions up on YouTube as well, so we can start going on live on YouTube. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we can start going live there, guys, and that's going to be way more beneficial. I think we just need to, keep during these times, keep supporting local and keep supporting each other. And yeah, I appreciate all the support that everyone's given me. And shout out to Fair Digest for giving me this platform. And yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rugby. I know we've missed it dearly, so let's support all our world champions out there on the field and just keep going. Cheers, guys. Have a fantastic weekend.